Excuse me. Hello. I guess I'm ready. Meant to click new thumbnail first, but whatever. So, if you're tuning in live, and no one's here right now because I literally just clicked go live, but I guess if you're watching, I'm doing live with no chat. So there's no live chat. So if you can't participate in the live chat or whatever, it's because that function is turned off. And every now and then I like to turn it off just so, I mean, it's not the reason behind it is so that you can sit with your own intuition, discernment, whatever. Right? Let's say like there was a live chat that was enabled and I'm reading whatever I'm reading and someone said something in the live chat and you are also in the live chat and it steers your discernment in a certain type of way because of what someone else said. Sometimes we help each other when our paths align, and sometimes when it's for us to go our own way, what would be helpful in another situation can become detrimental. So every now and then, not too frequently, not too often, I'll turn it off. So it's just you, me, and whatever you believe in, I guess. Well, that's the intention at least. Today's video is brought to you by Jamaica. Um, I feel like the first time I had Jamaica, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" And every time since then, I'm like, "Okay," because it's good, but it has a little bit of an almost bitterness to it, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so today I'm gonna have four decks to choose as the base. I have the Fable Makers animated tarot, which would give us a deck dungeon challenge. I have the Notoria tarot, which would give us an angel. The archetypes, well, I don't know archetypes, and they well, I don't know alchemy. That'll give us an archetype or an alchemy to make the base. The inspiration behind this video is 248. I was seeing 248, and then one day I was live and I was like, oh, that's two to the first power, two to the second power, and two to the third power. So essentially, the base is going to be the number, and then we'll square it, and that'll going to use the water known tarot, and then I'll multiply it by that cube, and that'll be from the Spirit Keeper's tarot. 17 is at the bottom of the deck. That's interesting because I went to Dunkin' with my grandma earlier and my order number was 1717. Anyway, uh, so that's the overall. That's how we're going to do it. So the four, that's going to be the base. And then there's three energies. So I'm going to pull before and after the square and the cube. But the idea being the card before the square is more like a U within your chain. And then the card after that, the card after the square and the card before is this link in between you and your chain and a divine chain. And then the card after the cube is like the divine's part. So there's like what you do, what the divine does, and then what y'all work on together to kind of like bridge it. You know what I mean? So the two is these two decks, and then the one is the zodiac sign, right? It was like this 4-3-2-1 type, whatever, to make it like kind of cute or whatever. So four decks for the base, three energies, you and the divine. Two powers, the square and the cube, and then one you, one zodiac. I'm using dice today, and I just put them in the Vitruvian box. I actually meant to grab the SKT Revelations because the Revelations is a little bit closer to us, but I grabbed the Vitruvian, so we're gonna go with it. I have a D4, a D8, and a D12. The D4 is to pick which one of the four bases. I'm gonna go for number one, the Notoria. For 2, the archetypes, 3 is the alchemy, and then 4 is the deck on the Fable Makers animated. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just happen to lay them out in that order. That's the D4. The D8 is I already have them all shuffled, so I'm gonna pull that card right off the top. Excuse me. And then the D12 is for the zodiac sign. And I'm gonna do like all of them at once instead of like rolling the D12 to get a sign and then like the other two. We're gonna roll all 3 of them at once. I was gonna do a collective one before then, but we're just gonna get into it. I'm gonna do timestamps as I'm live. So after it uploads, they may be off because sometimes it'll like buffer or catch or just decide to cut off the upload wherever it decides to cut off the upload, and that's it. So I think without further ado, I'm gonna time. Oh, I can see the timestamp as I'm doing this. Nice. So explanation, and I think that's it. We're just gonna get into it. Again, I'm using my headphones, so I don't know if you can hear this, but I guess if you can, but, I'm just gonna I'm gonna open it. We have Aries again. The first time I just shook it, number 1 came out. So Aries with the alchemy and the number 3. So it'll be 3. 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So 3, 9, 27. Aries. We're gonna timestamp you at 6:45. All right, Aries. Wait. Yes. Hold up. The third card. Okay. I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. So 1, 2, 3. You have lead, which is number 22 in this stack. I'm gonna get all the cards out first. Uh, and the cards we already got, I'm gonna put them back into the deck, and we're just gonna keep the rotation going. So lead. I'm gonna shuffle it. So I'm gonna be pulling before and after the hermit because that is the 9. And I'm gonna look from the bottom of the deck just to let us proceed as quickly as possible, quickly and efficiently as possible. The hermit is number 9. So before the hermit is strength. Then there's the hermit. The part that works with the divine is the mother of cups. And we have the 2 of cups and the son of cups before and after. Yeah. And then 27 is 20 is justice, and 7 is the chariot. So we're gonna look before. Oh, I didn't even consider that. That's good. We're gonna look before and after justice and the chariot. Both of the energies before and then the energy after. Justice in the Chariot. Oh wow. So they're together. Before this is interesting. Before the chariot is strung, and then it's the chariot, and then justice, the chancellor, and then the six of pentacles. Before and after, we have the empress with the queen of wands, golden shield, power, authority, and fire. So Aries, what's interesting about yours already and how I'm doing this. So since these came out together, I'm actually gonna keep as such. So instead of doing like before and after the chariot and then before and after justice, I'm just gonna do before and after like both the chariot and justice. So I'm also gonna read the book. Oh, this is interesting. So Aries, you have lead. Sorry, iron. You have iron. I've been saying lead. You have iron and it's associated with Mars. So your ruling planet is here. I feel like iron is conductive, like it conducts electricity and heat, I think. Uh, which means that it readily allows energy to pass through it. Iron is a good conductor of heat and electricity, I'm sure. Duh, it's a good conductor. The electrons are free to move around more than one atom, which is called delocalization. So maybe it's that delocalization that makes it, especially when it comes to electricity, because electricity is a flow of electrons. What's interesting about you, though, is Aries. Maybe it's related to the conduction and iron being such a good conductor. Because again, I had already decided that since the two clarifiers came out together, I wasn't going to read justice as after the chariot and the chariot as before justice. It just felt like we're making those two one. What's also interesting here, though, is that the energy that you provide or what you bring to the table in strength, the card before the square, is the same as the card that's before the cube. And the card before the cube and after the square is like the bridge, right? So I guess it's not strange if you think of it in a certain, like, in certain terms, because more often than not, what we bring to the table or what we concern ourselves with or what we invest time, energy, attention, and effort into is the vehicle medium reason why something comes to us. But again, they're the same. And it's like it's almost like because they're the same, that's why I'm like, there's even with the energy that's in the cards, there's this smooth, like energy is just readily able to pass through the medium that is the base that you're working in. And it's a base of three, three being that like catalytic number. And it's interesting because the extra bonus cards, I believe from the last time I was live, was the lock and key. And whatever the card was, there was the chest and then the key. And I was like, oh, that's like it's giving enzyme. Actually, I was looking at ingredients for something earlier today and I saw the word enzyme. So, anyway, there's just something very like whatever is happening right now, it feels like there are things that are being accomplished through you. And because of that, it feels like there are things that either you more readily receive or like you're rewarded for being a conduit, a channel, a contribution in some way. Because there's this through line straight to the giver. And even in the giver, there's something exchanging hands between the divine and us, the divine and man, weighed across these scales. And of course, the scales are right next to justice. So there is something like very like aligned with you, but also because strength is what you provide, it feels like in some way you direct it as well. Almost like if something is easy, it's because you are making it easy. Let's read 22 lead and see what the book says. Iron. I keep saying lead. Sorry. Iron, magnetism, reliability, and Mars. Iron is a reliable metal that can withstand, if I can get it, there we go, that can withstand great pressure. Over the centuries, we have come to utilize this metal extensively, mixing it with, excuse me, carbon to create the steel bridges, highways, and infrastructures that span across the globe. In alchemy, iron is associated with the planet Mars and shares its qualities of being strong, assertive, and potentially warlike. When the iron card appears, the call to rely only on the reliable. What truly supports you? What have you already built? Iron dwells at the center of Earth, so when all else feels lost, go inward. There is a deep magnet there that pulls you toward what is steady and true. For the moment, put your words and weapons down and let yourself be held by the structure that is already in place. To ponder this, think of iron in our bloodstream, which is really interesting. It's because iron is in the blood that oxygen is as easily or readily delivered and deliverable. I feel like in hemoglobin, there's iron magnesium like in the heart of hemoglobin. I feel like it's magnesium, but iron like binds to oxygen, and then when the blood gets wherever it's going, the oxygen like breaks off. And paraphrasing, because it's been a long time since I looked at hemoglobin. The difference between iron and hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in your body that contains iron and gives blood its red color. Hemoglobin is responsible for carrying oxygen from your lungs to nourish all of the tissues in your body. Iron is a part of hemoglobin and an essential mineral found in foods we eat. Now, what's interesting, obviously, isn't there magnesium in hemoglobin? Hemoglobin, magnesium. Let's see. Magnesium is considered an important coenzyme for glutathione peroxidase, which is involved in the synthesis of magnesium supplementation increases hemoglobin levels in athletes. So it makes up hemoglobin. Anyway, what's interesting is, and it's not like a plastic like microplastic, and I didn't necessarily expect to get so scientific if any of this is accurate. Um, but what's interesting is because I remember like I've seen dietary iron in a like not pill form, and it's kind of like low key iron, which is kind of wild to think about. Like if you get a bar of iron, like that's the same iron that's in your blood. That's the same iron that allows your blood to do what your blood is supposed to do. It's just like in a different form, right? But I don't know. It's just weird that because I knew it was the same, but to be confronted with it, I guess, was like, whoa, you know. Now that's also the difference between like atomic iron and molecular iron. Atomic iron being like a few iron atoms that are incorporated into whatever, and not like a bar of solid iron. But that also, because I didn't, maybe too, because I didn't consider oxygen, I didn't consider organic function when I was thinking of the conductivity of iron. Now heat, like we generate heat, so yes, electricity, our brain, like neurons and stuff, like yes, bioelectricity, bio thermodynamics. It's I guess it's just this really fundamentally supplemental. Uh, one second. That was weird. Somebody was ringing a bell, and I was like, "Are they trying to get my attention?" And this is like shifting more and more. Um, yeah, it's this one metal that is so good at like allowing energy, heat, electricity to pass through it, but also when incorporated into the blood, it becomes essential in the delivery of oxygen. Oxygen being the air that keeps our cells alive. So yeah, it's just now the Mother of Cups is also here. The Mother of Cups here. So like you are in an energy of strength, and it is for you to be in that energy of strength. It's also interesting that you have both a 9 and an 8. Oh, sorry, both an 11 and an 8 strength. It's 8 in the SKT, but 11 in the Wild Unknown, and the 11 of Justice. So you have an 11-11 here too. Excuse me, which is given that 4 of Wands, something like harmonious. It's like it's this marriage between your strength, drive, passion, all of the martial things that make you you, partnered with this pre-high priestess energy. And it's not, I love that it's not the high priestess, that it's the Mother of Cups, because it's for you to be your intuitive self. It's not necessarily for you to be, again, like in the seat of the high priestess, where you're expected to know more than what you may feel is reasonable, or where you're expected to be more intuitive than you are. Meaning, or more so like something that's already within your wheelhouse of capability. You don't have to do any more or be any more or whatever. Like, use what you got. And it's through you being you in the areas and arenas that you are being you, again, that like makes like you smooth so many things out. I think, again, on the part of the divine, being this third, that's kind of sort of really the second, but third energy over here, you have Moon and Taurus, the giver. I don't know. I would almost, that feels more like anything that you need is going to be like given to you. Almost like the more momentum you have, like your momentum is going to be met and matched, basically. Like, it doesn't feel like you're necessarily going to run into a situation where your intuition discernment leads you to a place and you're waiting there for like days, weeks, months, years before something else like happens. Feels like very seamless. Yeah, anything beyond that is between you and the divine. Arenas, aspects of that, that's intuition and discernment, or your knowledge of your path, life journey, whatever. Right? Cool. I am not good. Spending 5 minutes on a sign. I say that, but watch, there'll be a sign where it's like 3 minutes, and I'm like, "Yep, that's what it is." I'm like, wait, those other signs got 20 minutes. Sometimes you don't need as much, and that's fine, right? Or sometimes you're more in a decision making space where you're sort of like given free reign. And we're gonna put this at the bottom, and we're gonna keep it moving. Now let's see if these will give me anything other than Aries. Next is 6, 4, and 4. 6 is Leo, right? No, 6 is Virgo. I do that so often. I'll confuse the 6 for Leo, but I don't think I ever confuse the 5 for Virgo. Now it's Virgo. Virgo is getting a deck dungeon challenge, and your base number is 4, which is interesting. Give a Virgo a 4, and they'll be happy. 4, again, it's giving that, not necessarily stability, but it's giving almost like a completeness. I don't know. It's hard to communicate it in a way other than, because it's not that something is complete, but it's almost like everything is present. It may not necessarily be in its final spot, but it's all there. So, Virgo, this is your reminder that timestamps on this channel are approximations. for various reasons. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's the upload. I put Virgo instead of Virgo, which is interesting. All right, Virgo. You get the fourth card. So it's going to be 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is, I want to say like something, but maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're sitting at the 7 of chalices. We already know that with the chalice at dungeon challenges, there are a number of chalices. One of them contains a silver key that is only revealed to you after you drink the entirety of the contents of the key. You have to drink it. You can't pour it out or whatever. Now, let's just get into it. Say 64 for some reason, but I know that's not right. Oh, it is 4 because 16 times 2 is 32 times 2 is 4. I don't know why 24. I don't know why in my brain 6 times 4 was not giving a, yeah, 4 cubed is 64. 64 is the devil and the emperor. And then 16 is um Wheel of Fortune and the lovers. So again, at least this time we're working with like two. So we're gonna get all the cards out first and then tell you what your specific DC is. I'll for you just in case. From the bottom, we're looking for again the fortune and the lovers. 16. This is before, after the lovers came out. Before and after. You have the Ace of Wands and the Star before and after the after, which is interesting. Already, with the Ace of Wands and the Star, it feels like there is this dual attractive, I want to say something that's like a dual attractive feature of your energy right now. It's like the things that maybe like motivate you, that like what that you're really like passionate about are things that have like a star quality. And with that star quality, it feels like it then turns around and attracts more of the things. It's like you are attracted by what is attracting you, and what you are attracting is attracted by you. There's a mutual attraction. There you go. That was easy. That's easier to say. There's a mutually attractive energy. Now, on the other side, we're looking for the devil and the emperor. The 5 of Pentacles is an energy here. I wonder which one it comes with. The moon and the 7 of Swords, which is moon and Aquarius. The moon and Aquarius just revealed itself. Interestingly enough, the Necromancer and the Rogue. Oh, from the bottom. So again, the Lovers and the Devil. 64. So the Six of Cups before, the Devil, and the Ace of Swords after. So this row has an Ace of Swords and an Ace of Pentacles. Now we're looking for the Lovers. So just like Aries, you have Strength before, the Lovers, and then the Seven of Pentacles after. At the cut, you have Page of Swords, Stronghold of the Zephyrs, Sun and Gemini. This is Herald of the Consummating. Okay. So the Seven of Cups, this feels like you are in a time. There's transition all over this energy. There's an interesting, maybe apocalyptic energy here. And I only say apocalyptic to catastrophize. I'm kidding. Um, but it's because it feels like there is an active alignment, like this dual attractive energy. But it's like you're flipping something. And because this attraction or this magnetism is actively maintained, when you change orientation or polarity, it feels like there's a little bit of not chaos on the other side, but it's like because it feels like that connection isn't severed or stopped before you move the magnet. So it's like everything is like real crazy for a second before it reestablishes on the other side to meet however you flipped. And that's why it's like almost cataclysmic because they say that oh the earth's poles are gonna flip and when they do the world is gonna end because everything causes the world to end. But not to just catastrophize, but again it's just that energy of like it doesn't feel like there's a breaking or a seizing in the midst of this held attraction, magnetism, whatever. Like you're not shutting down or shutting off. You're just kind of like putting the mutable in mutable earth. And so maybe to you or for you, it's something very naturally, but to everything outside of you, you being the earth sign that you are, I don't know, you're expected to be more stable and never switch anything up. But again, to mutable earth energy, it's like that doesn't make sense because it's still mutable, right? So maybe that could also be you coming greater balance within yourself or you coming into a season where some other part of yourself is coming to the forefront. Something that is also you, right? So the two energies before you have judgment and the three of cups, which is interesting, almost thematic, but through imagery. And then after, also with the lovers and the wheel of fortune, there's also birds on these two cards. Two are in movement, two are in movement, one is at rest. And even here, all of these are in movement, these birds are at rest. And then after the bridging from you is the Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. Now the Ace plus the five together is the Six of Pentacles. And again, Aries just had the Six of Pentacles. So just like Aries had this force in their bridge of the divine, maybe it's more largely collective and we just ain't got there yet. Or maybe it's something between you and Aries. I think too in this though, it's like everyone has a role So just because you and someone else show up to the same function, or just because you and someone else both receive an invitation, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be doing the same thing. So if you are invited and someone else that you know was there, or you have some kind of preconception or some knowledge, some foreknowledge about, maybe it's like someone, um, maybe you get like a job interview, or someone reaches out to you and they're like, hey, like I'm doing this thing, can you help me out? And like you have some kind of knowledge. Um, but again, I don't know, it's just something about that feels important to mention. That even if two people arrive at the same place or got it to the same place doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be doing the same thing. That more so that you don't fall into like a game of comparison, maybe, because if you're not going to be doing what someone else is doing, or it's like if you think that you're doing the same thing as someone else, and you're like, oh well, they're really, really, really good at that, and like I'm not as good as that. I'm not as good at that as they are, so they're gonna get it, and I'm not. But it's like if they are coming because, or if they're invited because they're really good at, like that's what they're gonna do. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you are gonna be doing when you get there. So you can be playing this whole comparison game for literally no reason because you're not gonna be doing what they're doing anyway. Type of thing. On the other side is the memory keeper and strength. So there is a six of cups, six of pentacles energy here. The six pentacles broken down between the ace and the five. So this could literally be like thematically. Maybe there is something that you used to be really passionate about, or something that you always wanted to do, but you didn't experience much support or success in that thing. And so you stepped away from it, or when you think about that thing, you have a certain connotation to it because, again, of experiences of the past. This feels like this is an acknowledgement from the divine that, like, yes, we know that you have been through this, or we know why you feel the way that you feel about this, but we're asking you to be strong anyway, or to show up anyway. Because on the other side of this is the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. This is the consummating. The bottom of the deck was the Herald of the consummating, which is really interesting because it's almost like there's an announcement that, like, you're here, like Virgo's here. You ain't got to worry about it. Or you're being positioned to do something like big. And something big is relative, right? Relative to scopes of impact and positioning. Um, like if you're, and again, there's so much of like life in this for Virgo. Um, because it feels like, again, like if you look at where, like if you say audiences or look at subscriber counts for whatever reason, you can go like, oh, this person has like 10,000, 200,000 subscribers. Their platform or stage is bigger, their reach is wider because they have a dedicated following that is several sizes of magnitude, whatever. But it's like if there's a person that follows you that doesn't follow that other person, or if you resonate, like, because you resonate for the people who you resonate for. And then there are others who sort of like, I don't want to say who click up, like form these cliques or cliques or whatever, but like we each have our own tribes, right? We walk our walks, our journeys, our pathways. There are certain people that we're exposed to, and certain people we're not exposed to. There are some people that we resonate with and align to, and certain people we don't. Again, it's just like there's still impact and power in what you do. And your presence can be like just as big, even if like the size of whatever isn't the same. And maybe too, because again, like there is an energy that is in movement and there's an energy that is still. Just like with your two clarifiers, there are some that are in movement and there are some that are still. And so it's like already there's a differentiation happening. I didn't even catch that because with the lovers and the devil, hold up, hold up. I did this wrong. This was supposed to be the emperor. Because I'm like, hold up, 66. This ain't 66. This is 64. This is 64. Hold up. This was down here. This was down here. This was up here. This was down here. I didn't even catch that 6 6. Oh, there's a 6 6 6 here. 6 16 and 6. But this 6 was supposed to be a 4. This 6 wasn't supposed to be. I gotta go back through the deck. This is 64. Hold up. I think I saw the Emperor too. I was looking at the Emperor was looking at me. The Ferryman, which is the Six of Swords, so another 6. Uh, the Emperor and the Convalescent, so 4 for the 4. The Tower and the Blind Seer. I have to cut now. Like I was going to say something. There's a lot of swords here. So now the Ace of Swords and the Four of Swords is what the divine is sort of bringing to the table. And I kind of love that I read it this way because now with this Emperor here, which is the clarifier, so how involved in the energy is it? It kind of is, but it kind of isn't, but it kind of is. The reason why I love that here is because it feels like it assuages some kind of fear or hesitation. It's confirmation if you need confirmation, validation if you need it. And then the Six of Swords with the ferryman here, Six of Cups, Six of Swords. Oh, we have the entire life cycle of the Phoenix and the Dragon here. Okay, let's do it this way because that's the way it can. You have the Phoenix and Dragon born, the Phoenix and Dragon in bondage, and then the Phoenix and Dragon free. And this is what originally caught my eye. It was the Phoenix and the Dragon in both of these. And then I was like, wait, I don't think that Lovers is supposed to be there. It's 64, not 66. It's the Emperor, which is commander of elections. Oh, there's this Six of Pentacles. You got sixes all over the place. Six Pentacles between the five and the ace. Six swords, six cups. Everything is here except for the 6 of Wands, but that's just bridging energy. Three sixes is an 18, and the moon literally fell out with the road. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. You got three of them here. And that's all of the energies because it's two that you provide, and then it's two from the divine. This entire bridge is an 18, which is Pisces, which is interesting because you're Virgo. It's your opposition. But again, maybe that plays into this in some way, but maybe more so in that like comparison game that you could play. You don't have to, but that you could play. Um, what's interesting here, though, so originally, it's almost like originally what the divine was providing was insight. The divine was providing insight into a certain path or way. Because again, there's this mutual attraction to your energy. What you are attracting is also attracting you. And so it feels like when the lovers was here with the 7 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, this was you maybe like receiving guidance. Maybe your intuition and discernment was leading you to a pathway of realization again with this Pisces energy here, a way to make the dream reality. But it was actually for you to be in the space of the Emperor, not in the space of the lovers. And so it goes from that to the Ace of Swords, 4 of Swords, which feels like taking charge of something. Because the 5 of Swords energy could be one that is seen as aggressive. And maybe that plays into double standards, right? How a man that is a boss or in leadership or in charge is viewed versus like a woman who does the same thing, right? One is seen as assertive, maybe the other is seen as aggressive. And again, like Aries, it feels like there is something that your presence bridges. Like, I don't know, maybe this is like ways that the divine is going to it. So far between Aries and Virgo, the divine is moving to use people to make like bigger moves. And maybe you being more assertive is going to soothe something of the past too. Excuse me. Because again, at first it was that like the divine knows that you're uncomfortable in a situation because of events of the past, but you are asked to be strong anyway. But in you being strong anyway, it opens up this like 6 of Swords energy. There's 6 of Swords, you could say, make certain pathway. It reduces resistance, certain pathways, or it incorporates a certain intuitive, discerning um, ability that allows you to navigate, or that comforts you as you're navigating whatever. But still, that would reduce resistance, but like generative resistance rather than pre-existing resistance. Generative resistance being any ways that we add resistance through fear or worry, guilt, shame, blame, any of that mental stuff that adds more difficulty and challenge to the hurdles rather than like earthly hurdles like if there's a degree requirement or if there's a time requirement, if there's a certain number of sessions that you have to do before, like certifications and stuff like that. Those are more like pre-existing because they're sort of like built into the pathway itself, not things that are imagined. Maybe more like external resistances rather than ones that are generated into it. Anyway, and your deck dungeon challenge, I'll read it for you. But it feels like with this Six of Swords energy that comes in under the proper sort of guidance with the Emperor rather than the strength that is, even with the strength that's the Lovers. Honestly, again, strength makes it feel like the same energy, but with strength, it just feels like you have to be more conscious about what you're doing. You have to exert more energy or effort. There's a certain ease and flow to the Six of Swords. It doesn't mean that the path is any different, but it's like a peace of mind that the divine could give you. I'm gonna read your deck dungeon challenge. So at seven of chalices, seven chalices rest on plinths. Okay, I'm gonna have to open this up so I can like really read it. Seven chalices rest on plinths in the center of a room set 10 feet apart. Each chalice contains a sparkling blue liquid. One chalice in the room contains a silver key which unlocks the door. To retrieve the key, the silver key is associated with the moon, and the moon is here again. Cool. The golden key, keys of silver and gold, keys of the kingdom, the hierophant. Silver of the moon, intuitive, gold of the sun. One chalice in each room contains a silver key which unlocks the door. To retrieve the key, you must drink the entire contents of the correct chalice, which can be identified with wisdom or intelligence. So for seven chalices, it'd be a DC of 14, 14 out of 20, which is 7 out of 10, 70%. So there's a 30% chance of failure. No, 70% chance of failure, 30% chance of success because you have to meet it or beat it. Anyway, drinking from an incorrect chalice deals up to 8. Drinking from an incorrect chalice deals cold damage to the drinker. Drinking the entire contents of the correct chalice heals for twice as much as the potential to take damage and causes the key to appear in the empty chalice. The key does not appear if the liquid is not consumed. If the liquid is spilled from a chalice, it magically refills after 6 seconds. I think because of that last part, there is an energy of potential bargaining here, like trying to find other ways to get the key without drinking the chalice. Now, your because of the bridge here, I don't know. It feels like again, it feels like the divine, your spirit guides, whoever and whatever you believe in, are like very supportive and reaffirming and validating. Because on your side, with this, with the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles energy, there may be some kind of hesitation to take this new path or to really open up. But again, it feels like there's enough confirmation validation that you wouldn't necessarily have to bargain as much. I think another thing with that, with this deck dungeon challenge, it was for the Seven of Cups, which is your base. Um, yeah, maybe in the beginning you might feel like you have to bargain, but it just energetically it feels like something that you settle into fairly easily and fairly quickly. Um, and maybe that'll be a way that you differentiate because the Seven of Cups is a card of having choices to make, decisions to make because you're presented with choices. Um, and maybe, yeah, Six of Swords, Six of Cups. But it feels like what's affirmed here is a deep internal truth. This isn't necessarily affirmation of a more conscious limiting belief. It feels like something deeper, more subconscious is being validated here. Validated or invalidated, either way. And again, because of the childlike energy of the Six of Cups, it could speak to it. Excuse me, I'm going to do one more, and I think I'm going to end this because I meant to go live earlier. It's already late. Uh, maybe I'll come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll do two more. Do four. It's already been an hour. Part of me and my non-thinking mind, part of me was like, oh, 10 minutes tops. I'll spend per time and 120 minutes, I'll be done. Oh, God. The devil and the fool flipped over as I'm shuffling. And maybe that speaks again to um, any past experiences you may have in whatever your intuition discernment and but like whatever direction that's guiding you toward. The chariot is at the bottom of the deck. 7 for 7. Also, the chariot is associated with Cancer, which is water. So 7 of water and a 7 associated with a water sign. All right, next. I'm trying to like, make sure they all, you know, we have Leo 4 and 4 again. And it's funny because I was like, I think I originally thought that was for Leo. Yeah, I originally thought that last one was for Leo. And I was like, every now and then I'll confuse the 6 for Leo, but I'll never confuse 5 for Virgo. So there you go, Leo. Leo, and I'm gonna timestamp this before I start talking. 10240. We'll say, hey Leo, this is your reminder that timestamps are approximations. Timestamps are approximations. So again, fourth deck, fourth card. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5 of Wands. Now this is also a deck dungeon challenge that we've seen that I am familiar with. But I'm gonna get right into it. So your numbers are the same as Virgo's. 4 squared is 16. 4 cubed is 64. So for the 16, we're gonna look before and after the Wheel of Fortune. And yeah, I was like, did I look for the Wheel of Fortune? I did. The Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers. Maybe that's where I got it confused. Because I ended up putting the Lovers on both sides for Virgo. Anyway, it's a new sign. It's for you. Cool. Got it there. Looking from the bottom. Looking for the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers. I put these in the deck in separate places, and they still ended up together. The Wheel of Fortune with the Ace of Pentacles. Interestingly enough, looking for the Lovers. I think they came out in the same order for Virgo too. The Wheel of Fortune came out before the Lovers. Getting to the top. Six of Cups, the Lovers, and the Nine of Pentacles. Ace of Swords and the Nine of Swords is before and after the after. At least for the last card. Ace of Swords, Nine of Swords, which is interesting. Before we even move forward, I feel like that's oh look, you have the nine and the ten of pentacles on the same side. And then you have the ace of pentacles. Um what the ace of swords and that nine of swords is interesting. I feel like that's a reaction. Because you could sit at the nine of swords and then an ace of swords moment of clarity comes in and it gives you a peace. Because now you know at least what you didn't know before. Or on the other hand, when that clarity comes in, it could take you to the Ten of Swords, which is not peace. I'm gonna have to use the restroom. Six of Cups in the title card at the cut. Six of Cups in the title card is such an interesting energy because it feels like there's something instilled in you that you don't even know about. All right, from the bottom. Again, we're looking for 64. So that's the Devil and the Emperor. Just past the Lovers. Oh, and then there's this is so interesting. Um, because again, so your challenge, deck dungeon challenge is the Five of Wands. So your clarifiers for the 16, it's the Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune. Here, Bread of Life, the Lovers, the Corruptor, Seven of Cups. Virgo just had the Seven of Cups, but there's your Ace of Pentacles that you have right here. And then it's the contender, the Five of Wands, which is again your challenge. Your base of four brought that. But after that is the Wheel of Life and the Hermit. So there's your challenge and your two clarifiers right there with the corrector, Seven of Cups nestled in between. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Looking for the answer. So Eight of Swords, the Emperor, the Champion. Hold up. Hold up. Did I pass the devil? No, I didn't. I was like, because I just got these and I was like, wait, you should have more clarifiers than that. How was this? I think the devil's at the top of the deck. So you only had a card after. I'm so sorry, Leo, but I gotta run to the restroom, take a moment to reflect, or skip ahead until you see me come. Oof. Sorry about that, Leo. I'm back. I have returned. Cool. This is so interesting. Um, Interesting in a non-aspected way. Am I gonna say it's good interesting or bad interesting? Wait. Okay. I'm gonna have to pull up my phone. I don't know if there's any like, because usually if there's audio, the thing moves, but it ain't moving today. So I'm like, did I mess up the audio? Hello? 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 Oh, okay. I was so confused for a second. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Leo, yours is interesting. So the energy that okay. Of the four bases, the one that came out for you is a challenge of the Deck Dungeon Challenge in the Fable Makers Animated Tarot of the five. That was interesting because from a certain angle, you could see the card back. This is the card back. So depending on like the lighting situation, I just like looked into the ring light. I don't know. For some reason, when I held it up, I saw like the card back, like that maybe. I saw the back of the card shining through more than the image that is like the face of it. Anyway, and you got a numerical base of four as well. So the powers of four, the first two or three powers, 416, yeah, 416, 64. Um, so of the three energies, the one that you bring or the one that you're in is the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. Of the one that the Divine is bringing, it's the Six of Wands and the Seven of Swords. And then the bridge in the middle, it's the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. And what's interesting is because again, you had the title card and whatever other card like at the cut. I think it was the Six of Cups and the title card. Excuse me, which was like it. I don't know. Red is interesting because it feels like there's something either within you that you don't know about, or that could be an energy of experiences that you'd rather not remember. We'll just leave it at that. More so leaning towards the first. Oops. Maybe that's why the Five of Wands is here, because it feels like the energy that you're bringing is a desire to build upon something that is like deeply within. I don't know. The Six of Cups is reading like childhood or soul level, whatever. And the Ace of Pentacles is like you wanting to grow something. But again, we just saw the title card at the cut on the divine side. We saw the title card with this. And you're bringing this Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles energy to the bridge, to where you meet the divine. And the divine is returning you an Eight of Swords. Now, this Eight of Swords card, specifically in the Revelations edition, is a lunar eclipse. And that's happening like today. Maybe like right this very moment, but today. And I don't know if it's because there's something that you don't see. I don't know. This is just an interesting energy. And then on the other side is the Six of Wands and the Seven of Swords. So maybe it's like the divine wants you to be successful, but in order to do that, it knows that you have to face something. Now, if this is to be taken in the second way, the Six of Cups and the title card of like things that you'd rather not remember that you've been through, that's what introduces an interesting challenge here. And this could be something as simple as let's say that you can tap into, I don't know, maybe you do a lot of divinatory things or prophetic things. You've received a vision or you're seeking a vision and you're making your way towards that vision, but it feels like on the side of the divine that is connected to all things, that knows all things, there's this knowing that you're going to have to face something that you don't want to. Like you're gonna have to it's like you're gonna have to face the reality of something that you don't even want to remember. So again, it's like it introduces this interesting challenge. And again, because the Six of Wands is here, there is like this point in the future, maybe, where you will overcome whatever challenges or setbacks you may be facing. But it's like that, it has to happen to get where you're going or to honor whatever request you've made, right? And again, you're coming at it with an abundance mindset and like very solid within yourself. Ten of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles. But with this Eight of Swords here, there's something missing. Now, the last time we saw this Five of Wands as a death dungeon challenge, so there's going to be five magma methods, two salamanders, and like five, I think 10 by 10 blocks of like lava within a room. And you have to defeat, incapacitate, or let me just read it. Let me just read it real quick, just like we did for the last one. And let me open up this phone so I ain't got to squint. There we go. So, five magma methods uh, and two salamanders patrol the room. Five square foot areas of the floor are made of lava. The door opens when all the enemies are defeated, unconscious, or incapacitated. And let's not go to the last one. Let's just stick within the confines of this. Some of these enemies, some of the things that you have to defeat, incapacitate, or render unconscious, you can't even see. Defeat, unconscious, or incapacitated. Now, what's interesting is again in this card, like she's sleeping. I'd say, maybe she's unconscious. I don't know. And I was gonna say, like, oh, well, maybe this card represents like the divine rendering the ones like unconscious or incapacitating the salamander's magma methods that you can't see. And I feel like that's this hopeful sort of energy again, because what you're engaging with is this Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. That's what you're bringing to the divine, where there's this overlap. But again, it's met with like the Eight of Swords. Like there are things that are still left unresolved to get where you're trying to go. It's like approaching something with an inner child or from the lens of the inner child, but the inner child is like still maybe like scarred in some way or something. Like there's something that the inner child is still dealing with or something that it's been yet to be um, healed from. And the 3 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords are at the bottom of these decks. Oh look, and then there's hope. And then there's you and your element. Oh wow, and then another person. Or your ruling planet. So you, Leo, strength, your element, fire, and then your ruling planet, the sun. But anyway, with these two, it feels like the things that you know can work together for your greater good, but also the things that you don't know can also work together. And then who is that? The BTFU, STFU, mind your business queen is right there. And to enforce that, the conservator, Four of Pentacles, is behind her. There is something that is being withheld because at least at some point you weren't ready to face the reality of whatever this thing was. And so because you weren't ready, it's almost like the divine did you a kindness and letting you forget. So I guess I would just say be mindful and aware. I don't know. Because this Five of Wands is also your element. I think sometimes there are things that I don't know. It's like because this is your element, the challenge is within your element. Again, it's something that you have to deal with, handle, face, or address. Um, and maybe just, I guess, be mindful. Take it if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it. But that's what it's reading like. And again, it's like you're approaching from this very bright, very positive, very happy viewpoint, vantage point, energy. But again, it's like the divine, again, wants you to overcome, wants you to be happy, but also is aware of the things that you're going to have to face to get to that point. And so maybe the Eight of Swords is like, all right, if you're really, really sure and if you're really, really certain that this is what you want, the pathway will be open. Because the Emperor is one of the cards here, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be a little bit. Maybe it'll just be like more than you thought it would be, and it won't be anything that will like incapacitate you, you know? Oh, you see this? Different places. I put the cards back in. And then there's the Four of Pentacles again at the cut. Meaning that sometimes with the Ace of Swords, sometimes there are things that we don't know or things that were kept from for good reason. The Empress almost being the mother, being like a motherly energy. Like we didn't tell you because like you were a child and like you were going through this or you were going through that and like we didn't want to overwhelm you. So we kept you in the dark. You know, it's done out of love. Oh, that birthday's getting HOT. It's so hot. I'm gonna do one more. One more. Uno más. Por favor. And again, there was no the only card and that in between from the divine was the Eight of Swords. Excuse me. Or wait, maybe I did it wrong. So that Seven of Swords, it either goes before or after. But with the Seven of Swords, it's like either way, it doesn't really matter. It feels like it doesn't affect things ultimately. Because I was like, wait, I think the devil was the like literally the top of the deck. So there was only the card before it, but I put it after. So it would have been the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Swords, which is the Devil of Swords, because 15. That would have met your Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles energy. Then it would have been 10, 9, 8, 7. 10 Pentacles, 9 Pentacles, 8 Swords, 7 Swords. And your only energy on the other side would have been the Six of Wands, which is again the point where you, Leo, overcome whatever is for you to overcome that's getting in the way of you getting that Ace of Pentacles that you are going after. Ooh, title card. All right. One more, last one. So far, we haven't had any repeats, which is nice. We've done Aries, Virgo, and Leo. Last one for tonight is Scorpio with 1 and 7. Oh snap, Scorpio! Why you got to be like that? Why you got to be so difficult, Scorpio? Why couldn't you pick a number between 1 and 6? Huh? I only say that because so the square of 7 is 49, and we gonna have to math it. 9 times 7, 3, 6, 4, 7, 243. I don't think it's 243. No, 7 times 7. Oops. 7 times 7 is 49 times 7 is 343. I think, what did I say? 243? I did that. Wait, what did I do? Because that would have been 49 times 7. 63. Oh, 4 times 7 is 28. Yeah, that's what I messed up. I got like 4 times 7 is 21 or something. I don't know. Anyway, 343. Oh, I can do 343. Ah, you thought you got me. You thought you got me. But when it comes to 8, the cube is 512. So I can do the 12, but the 5 is outside the range of majors. And in my mind, I was like, if something hits that high, that's like not within the realm of Patrick's ability to do whatever. At the very least, if not, like like this part is hush 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 hush. But fortunately, no one's got any yet. So anyway, Scorpio. We've seen both sides of Mars today: Aries, Scorpio, Virgo, and Leo. Cool. Scorpio. Scorpio. We're gonna say 12912 for Scorpio. Cool. Maybe I'll do this in series of three or fours. So one, Scorpio, you get an angel. And you get the seventh card from the top. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. This is the seven. The Nine of Pentacles, Sun in Sagittarius, Nanael, the 53rd angel. My mom was like, why don't you use the other light? At first, I was like, "It is what it is." Now I'm like, "Man, I wish I could show the cards better." This is interesting. I kind of want to hold my immediate response reaction until the cards come out. I kind of want to share it. Um, so I just finished watching a show on Netflix that involves Greek mythology. And in Greek mythology, you have to pay the ferryman if you want passage across the river Styx. And so to do that, you put a coin. I think I've seen both a coin like in someone's mouth and like coins over the eyes. Maybe in the Roman side of Greco-Roman mythology, it was coins on the eyes, and on the Greek side, it was a coin in the mouth. If that's the case, it would be interesting that the Romans had to pay twice as much, but the Romans were Romans and the Greeks were Greeks. So maybe that plays into you have artistic, philosophical uh, Athens, and then you have like warring, conquering Rome. You know, so if you want passage across the ferry, you don't have to tip extra. Because anyway, it feels like someone gets on the other side, and then they become like this angelic energy. That's why I'm like, wow. Like on this side of the veil, Scorpio, you're Scorpio. But on the other side, it's like this angel. Anyway, so 49 is the hanged man. No, death. 49 is death in the hermit. And then 343 is, oh crap, I keep forgetting the card. Yeah, 343 is the fool, I think. I'm pretty sure it's the fool. But let me go on my brain. Because it's 200 and then 300 and then 400, right? 100 is the sun, 200 is judgment, 300 is the fool, 400 is the world. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So it's going to be the fool, death, and the empress. 343. Okay. Oh, interesting. Scorpio, those are your energies. Even the energy of death is like your energy, right? Death and transformation. Interesting. Okay, that feels good. Oh, somebody flipped over. Who is it? Oh, two somebody's flipped over. Strength, three somebody's flipped over. Three majors flipped over. It's a good thing I'm not looking for the Empress in this deck because if I did, you'd be out of luck. Strength, the Hermit, and the Empress all just flipped over. For cards that flipped over, I'm like setting them to the side because I'm looking before and after a card. If they flip over, they're like, not me. I'm like, okay. So again, 49 is the Hermit. Oh, the Hermit. The Hermit is right here. No. Oh, now we're in an interesting predicament. Aren't we? The Hermit is in the middle of these two cards. So technically, the card before and the card after. Strength, the Hermit, and the Empress. We'll see how that works out. And I'm pulling from the bottom. So now we're only looking for death. There's the Hangman. Oh, there it is. So the card before is the Father of Pentacles. The card after, and there's the is the Nine of Pentacles. At before and after the after, Father of Wands, Mother of Cups. Scorpio was like, try to read me, I'm not your brain. The Nine of Pentacles, I feel like this is maybe only the second. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles is minor Empress energy. The Queen of Pentacles is pre-Empress, and then the Empress is the full Empress. So on the side of the Empress, below her is this pre-Empress energy, which almost in some ways, again, like major arcana, minor arcana, being that like on one side you're like Scorpio, but on the other side it's this energy. Take it as it resonates. My brain operates in that. Okay. All right, we'll cut it. So we are looking for the Fool, Death, and the Empress. So I'm just going to go for the first Fool that I see, and it's the Initiate. You have Stronghold of the Grail, Herald of the Purifying with the Lobster on the card. If you don't know, lobsters are associated with Scorpio. And then the star, the healer, is on the other side of that. Cool. Scorpio. So we're looking for uh, death and so before death is the Nine of Wands, and then after death is the Hangman, the Outlaw. So now we're just looking for the Emperor. Orania's Gate, Gloria Mundi. There she is. So your number is nine, apparently, Scorpio. I don't think nines are associated with that. I don't think. For, for some reason, I feel like they are. Nine of Cups, the Empress, and then the Emperor. The only card left is this Page of Swords, Herald of the Consummated. Cool. So, and then you had Sacred Fire, the Awakening. Before and after the after. The Awakening and Herald of the Consummated. So, out of the cards that are available, you got one, two, three, four majors and four minors. Two of those four minors are court cards. Everything. Okay. All right. We're gonna okay. So of the four bases available, you rolled a one for the angel deck. And that one angel is Nine associated with Sun, Sagittarius, and the Nine of Earth, Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. I didn't even catch that. Right? So for the three energies, the energy that you bring, what the divine, where the divine is, and then the bridge between the two of you, yours, we'll say, is the Father of Pentacles as your energy. The divine is sitting at the healer, the outlaw, and the emperor, which is the star, the hanged man, and the emperor. And then the energy between the two of you is Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Nine of Wands, and then the Page of Cups, Stronghold of the Grail. So you got a 999, with the only card not here being the Knight of Swords, which some may say is the best nine to not have in a reading. Right? Now, what's also here that whether do we include it or not, strength being your energy and the Empress contributing to the energy, the space between you and the. So this is all threes and nines. The Empress is three, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Nine of Wands, and then the Page of Cups, who's just like there, which is maybe interesting. There are no sixes though. Who was it? Virgo that got all the sixes, or maybe it was Aries. I want to say it was Virgo because I accidentally went for the lovers instead of the Emperor. Pretty sure it was Virgo. Cool. Also, the Fool, because there are three fools in the SKT. The one that came up for you, the first one I saw was the Initiate, which is spirit in search of experience. Now, do I pull a card for the Stronghold of the Grail, or do I just leave it as a language? We'll see. I really don't know where to go for Scorpio. I don't know where to go for you. 9AL 53, God who humbles the proud. Nanael enables us to contemplate the divine world, leading us to become a veritable tabernacle that will spur us on to communication, inspiring us for difficult work or decisions, and prompting us to research, study, or meditate. Its energy, however, will become stern and rigorous if, aware of our newly acquired abilities, we exercise uncalled for self confidence and excessive pride, characteristics that will lead to work grinding to a halt, stifled by our egos. Number 53, it's within the principalities associated with the Nine of Pentacles, the Sun, the Sagittarius, and again the Nine of Pentacles. God who humbles the proud. Yeah. So ultimately, it's kind of like this like you are really, really in a land, in a world where all of us are special. Something about you is truly special, Scorpio. But if you think that you're too special, you'll be humbled. So it's like, yeah, you're special. whatever. Don't let it go too early. I'm just like at a loss. I feel like that's enough. Let's see. So maybe the Father of Pentacles is a space of accomplishment or achievement. The Father of Pentacles is the embodiment of is the embodiment of mastery over the element of Earth. I'm like, where's my phone? What's cool? The Father of Pentacles is represents mastery over the element of Earth, and so again, it feels like the space that you reach is some kind of completion. It's a completion in something that you is or were here to do, or it's you being where you're supposed to be or meant to be. But there is some element of completion and mastery when it comes to the element of earth. This feels like you are very well aligned to your like true core principles. And that's this like Empress minor Empress energy. Even like this divine strength, like your mastery over the element of earth, or the position that you sit in within your own life. It's very reminiscent of like what the like an embodiment of divine strength maybe. Now the nine of wands and the nine of cups is interesting. In my mind, it's like you are this nine of pentacles individual. And this nine of wands, nine of cups is almost like if you were to take your psyche and split it into, you could say like anima animus, like the feminine side, masculine side, yin yang, whatever. Okay, so this is like this. So between you, like this is you, and this is where you meet the divine. Yeah, this is where you meet the divine. Nine of cups, nine of water. This is you, nine of pentacles. It feels like because you are so well aligned and aspected within yourself, it's almost like it creates a flag in the system, and that flag on the system is this stronghold of the Grail, herald of the purifying. It's like there's something that you've accomplished on Earth, and that is what sort of calls over to this Empress energy up here. So there is almost a feedback loop here. Again, it's like because things align so well down here, there's this extra band that you get access to, or this extra level of whatever that you're called into. And on the other side of that is gifts of the spirit, the healer. Healer is gifts of the spirit. So maybe you get some kind of bonus gift. And it's with this initiate, spirit in search of experience. So I don't know if there's something that you came into this world to specifically do or to be doing. But again, it feels like if you did, you're doing it. Contract is complete, and whatever is rewarded to you via the completion of that contract is going to be rewarded to you. You also have this Leo um, Aquarius polarity because, again, on the divine side of this is the star. On the you side of this is strength. You sit at the Leo, the divine sits at the it sits at Aquarius, and because you are so well balanced and aspected within yourself, this polarity isn't like a push pull tug of war or whatever. Like it's not that. On the other side of this, on the divine side is the outlaw and the emperor. Aries is your people. Is the sister sign the sign that is also ruled by the same planet, or is it the sign that's on the opposite side of the wheel? I don't know. It's your co-Martian sign of Aries. It's here and the outlaw is there. But what's interesting is like, I don't know, there's something that's almost like forbidden pathways or forbidden like knowledge. And it's not that it's forbidden. It's like, I don't know. Maybe like there's a hope that the divine has for us. And like you've reached it or you fulfilled it or like you've proven that humans can be more than just little whatever it be oops down on the planet. Like give me money, give me sex. I don't know, give me partnership, give me love, give me money, give me love, give me money, give me love. And it's almost like you are now this like sophisticated, philosophical, contemplating things that you know what I mean? Somebody else had an energy that was kind of sort of like this, and that it was like there was an energy somewhere, not necessarily super, super recently, but like within the past few months, I think, where it was like someone sits down with the divine and they talk about more than just like what the divine can do for them. It's like, usually if we pray, we go to the divine and we're like, please, like, grant me this abundance or this job or this person or whatever. But it's someone who goes before the divine to like have a conversation. And it's such like a breath of fresh air. It's just such a different dynamic. Like that's what's kind of like here. But like that is the like that conversation starts something and it feels like you are like on the other end of that conversation kind of Scorpio. And that's why I don't know, you're almost like look you're marked to be an emperor in this like outlaw hanged man space. And there's nothing wrong with wanting love or money, like, right? And all of our paths and journeys are different, of course. But I don't know. I don't have to, I'm not necessarily feeling compelled to take away from Scorpio or to whatever for the sake of someone who maybe isn't Scorpio that's watching and it's like, well, that's not where I am. Or it's like, girl, well, then this ain't about me. use your intuition and discernment, you know? And it's not to play comparison, but I think sometimes in order to not play comparison, because again, it's like you want to, if you realize that you're special and you want to play into the fact that like you're special, but you don't want to be too special because of how it may make other people feel. Like there's a difference between like someone being very egotistically like I am more special than blah 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 whoever, and someone who's like I know that I'm special, but I don't want other people to feel some type of way, so I'm gonna like tone tune tune or turn down my special to not make other people feel like uncomfortable. Like those are two different things, and like within the space of this, like you're not being asked to be more palatable or whatever. Like don't get full of yourself, but also you don't have to diminish yourself either. And maybe for some it's like a very fine line. But the King of Cups, the Father of Wands, specifically within the Threads of Fate tarot, which I don't have anymore, the Sovereign of Wands, to me, is someone who has their ego in check. And so you can be all of who you are and not be some like big headed megalomaniac, right? But you ain't got to like diminish yourself either. I don't know. Scorpio. What's transit in Scorpio right now? And again, it's almost like for anything that may come your way within your day to day life, it's like you're good. You have this Father of uh, Pentacles energy. Excuse me. So, too, it's almost like you don't need for the divine to be this buoyant force in your life, or you don't need the divine to kind of like be a crutch because there's a certain working whatever that you've established. And again, like your life doesn't have to be perfect for you to be at this point. Maybe it's just to not be so overly concerned about the material, right? I don't know, but again, it's like that's how this 999 is reading to me today. And I guess nine is as high as you can get. Like you being this nine of pentacles on earth is your spirit being at the nine, your heart being at the nine, and your soul being at the nine. Like you fulfill all things that you need to within you. And then again, it creates this flag in the system that is this stronghold of the grail. So what's interesting here is because the Empress links up here to the Hermit, to you, it's like the spark that like we're all made in the image of the creator. We all hold divine fire within us. But it's like sometimes it's like a spark every now and then, or it's like this little candle that like flickers. But yours is like a very steady flame. And so again, there's this like emperor strength energy. And I think that's why you see the lion with the thorn in its mouth here too. Because you don't have to be like overly, again, it's something about like you getting comfortable being you, not needing to be anymore, but also not feeling like you need to diminish or be less to make others comfortable. I don't know. Wow, what a way to end it, Scorpio. So are we gonna pull? Sure, we'll pull one. Or not. Basically, what I'm trying to assess is if this page of cups is coming with an extra message, or if the Page of Cups is just coming as like the embodiment of a messenger, like message received or message sent. I can very easily see this being like message sent. So I wouldn't necessarily like it's not necessarily coming with mine. And again, it's so interesting that these three cards fell out before I even started. And it just happened to fall in a format that is perfect and involved the Hermit. And the Hermit was your other clarifier significator. It's the 9 and 49. I guess what's interesting here is as complete as Scorpio feels within itself, the full energy came out as the initiate rather than the seeker or the keeper. And maybe that just speaks to what is for you to do. So maybe like with consideration of life and to life, you've reached a point where you've completed all of your prerequisites to do what it is that like you've really come here to do. Maybe it's why the divine has you here, why you want to be here, whatever. And it's like now with the initiate, now you can really get into this like next phase or whatever. So I kind of want to pull another angel for you. And I guess I can because I have that ability, but I also guess I won't because this is the God that humbles the proud. God who humbles the proud, none of him. And again, it feels like that speaks more to like the in a world where everyone is special, you are extra special. And it's not for you to be so full of your own specialness that you forget about everyone else in the world or whatever, that you have to be humbled. But it doesn't necessarily feel like, but I guess most of this feels like it's more of a statement of like where you are slash what you've already accomplished. And it ain't my business. You know? So I'll just leave it at that. But because the Page of Swords is at the bottom of the deck, maybe. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna re-roll the D4. And it's one again. Because I've already said I'm not gonna get another angel, I'm not gonna do I was gonna like pull an alchemy or something. I was gonna try to be slick or sly. I'm like, but this stands as it is. So there you go. Scorpio. Cool. I guess we'll get like final cards now. So interesting. So very, very interesting. Also, too, there's a little bit of an energy that the lobster has arrived at its destination because sometimes we see the lobster coming out of the water in the moon card, but here the lobster is like beside this angel. So again, it feels like it is another signifier of some kind of accomplishment or achievement. I don't know. I have no idea. Ooh. The tower got the cut with that uh, Father of Wands, and then the Three of Swords is at the cut with it. So I didn't give the outro in any of the signs, but I'm gonna mark 20530 as final call. 20530. 30. Cool. What was this? I already forgot. Powers of 2 and 3. I am not going to get final cards from the 4, only a final 2. And I am going to not shuffle the 4 so that when I go to using the keep reading the zodiacs or whatever, they'll already be like in the same as like a sort of continuity, cohesive, whatever. You know? So I'm gonna put this at the bottom, and then I'm gonna just put it back in the back. If I was at my old place, I would just leave this stuff on the table, and then like whenever it's time to keep reading, I would just like pull them. I guess technically I could do the same here, but we gotta put it in a little energetic, hermetically sealed bag. I guess. I hope I can remember. Let's see. One, two. I did the Notoria as one because like angels, and then I did the Death Dungeon as 4 because like real life. 3 is associated with like catalysts, and I was like, okay, alchemy. And then the duality of 2, I guess, lend it to the archetypes, and so maybe I won't forget, or maybe we'll switch it up. Cool. We're gonna get the final. The Warrior of the Sun is at the bottom of the deck. Master of the Mystic Light. And at the cut is the Angel, a divine higher genius and master of the mystic light. All right, final SKT. RT. We have the Politic and the Dark Horse. Moon in Aries, Trine, Mars in Leo. 3 plus 7 is 10. At the bottom of the deck is the Vagabond. Mercury in Taurus. 5 of Pentacles. Do I have anything? Maybe that's like there's who we are and who we were created to be. There's who we are and then us in a lived potential. And the dark horse is like when we've taken up the mantle of whatever. The vagabond is when we are at a point of like reaching that place. Final. 3 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, 3 of Pentacles. This is my Wellspring card in this deck in particular. And then there's the Mountain, uh, the 3 of Pentacles, which is interesting. And then Justice is what that Wellspring is. What is the Wellspring, you ask? Take it as it is. Maybe to you it means nothing. 10 of Swords, Ace of Cups, and the Hangman just fell in. Yeah, it's just 3. 10 of Swords, Ace of Cups, the Hangman. I love that like the Hangman is here because it's like a flip. The other side of the 10 of Swords is the Ace of Swords. When we saw the 9 of Swords and the Ace of Swords earlier, and I was like, either we can go immediately to like an Ace of Swords, or we get to the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is just like sometimes there are things that we have to come to terms with, and sometimes it's easier to just accept stuff. There isn't one that's necessarily better than the other. It's just like where we are. Anyway, bottom of the deck is the Hierophant and the World. I saw it like this. I saw the 21 of the world, and under that is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords in this deck in particular is my birthright card. So the thing that you would find at the wellspring is related to this Ace of Swords that the fox is like sitting on, and the Seven of Swords. So anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey finds. And until next time, what's this say? Welcome to the Wild Unknown Tarot. You'll find no wrongs or rights inside this box. Only mirrors for reflection. Open your mind, draw a card, and have fun on your journey. I don't know if I've ever read that inside the box. The only word was like, I was like, what is it? It was a little hard to read for a second. For like half a second, for a split second. All right. Yeah. So I want to roll these one last time. Sure. I don't know what it's gonna tell me, but we'll roll 'em. We got Libra, the element of fire or water. And the throat chakra. Yeah, the throat. I would see real quick. Give me a second. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Where is the button? Come on, I know this ain't it. I guess we're not gonna find it, and that's fine. It's the number 4. 4 was the deck dungeon challenge, Libra with the throat. So maybe this is like it's associated with the communication of a personal truth, with an understanding that for one, our personal truth may not be the same as or align with someone else's personal truth, but to also understand how the communication of personal truth can balance and affect things like either way, in any way, you know? Yeah. And I'll catch you on this. Bye.